going to be talking about HB 1325. According to a recent study conducted by the American Civil Liberties Union, Texas actually has one of the highest arrests for possession of marijuana. In 2010, Texas was the second highest state in the country for the arrest of the marijuana. In total, over 74,000 people were arrested for marijuana that year. I have been researching this topic. It has actually been one of the topics I have mostly been interested in. I read many different sources that were about the policy, and I had an open mind when reading and watching the videos about the topic. So the question is, how can police officers really tell how much THC is in the marijuana during the traffic stop? Do the officers have a device that will determine the amount of THC? So HB 1325 is a new law that just came out a couple of months ago, which states that in order for marijuana to be illegal, it has to have a greater THC value of 0.3 or higher, but in order for it to become legal hemp, it has to be 0.3 or less. And according to the Texas Tribune, and that all came from the Texas Tribune, as of right now, there is no way for a police officer to measure the amount of THC in marijuana when the officer conducts a stop. The only way to determine the amount of THC is throughout a lab to test the substance. And that could take 6 to 8 months due to the lack of laboratories in Texas and the lack of equipment. There is no way for an officer to know the difference between hemp and marijuana. Medium.com states that as varieties of the same plant species, hemp and marijuana share many similarities and can even appear exactly alike. An officer has no way to distinguish what is hemp and what is marijuana just from looking or smelling. How can an officer arrest someone without fully knowing if what person has was legal hemp or illegal marijuana? Many have been falsely convicted for possession of drugs. Those have had to spend time in jail for something that they shouldn't have just been cited, that they should have been cited and released for. Something needs to be done so that the marijuana can be tested for its THC percentage on the spot. I propose that in order for this policy to be fully functional, there needs to be a way to differentiate hemp and marijuana during the stop. The best solution would be for officers to carry some sort of testing device that will test the chemical structure of the marijuana. And as stated by MedicalMarijuanaInc.com, you'll find the two plants are contrastingly different in both purpose and chemical makeup. Their chemical structure is the only way to determine what THC content is. The device would, in a matter of minutes, see what the item is. This would decrease the number of labs that are needed for testing and the time that it takes for the item to get tested. What if this device would save hundreds of being wrongfully arrested for carrying legal hemp that they were supposed to be cited and released for? The revision of this law would better society in Texas. TexasCrimeLawyers.com stated that just in 2010, Texas spent $250 million in marijuana cases. What if out of those convicted, 1/4 of them were actually wrongfully convicted? The state of Texas could save a bit more of $60 million if they had the device. So many things could be done with that money, such as rebuilding roads, create a better education system, creating shelters, or use the money to fund the police. What if one of you were the ones being arrested for having quote unquote marijuana, but in reality it was just considered hemp? So I ask you to please email our representative Sheila Jackson Lee by going to her website jacksonlee.house.gov and click on the contact to send her an email to revise the policy and bettering it. In the email, remember to express your concern on the policy right now and how it is not fully foolproof and it could wrongly convict someone. For this policy to work completely, there has to be a device for the officer to test the substance on site. Many people could really have hemp as personal use. Those should not be arrested if there is a law that states they would be cited and released. Not only will this benefit the person, but the state as a whole. So much money could be used to better the state of Texas. Emailing the representative would only take a matter of minutes. So hope better your life and the life of your fellow Texan.